Welcome to Mr. Chalk's Revision Tips. In this video, we will look at arteries, capillaries and veins. So, an artery is a blood vessel. It's part of the circulatory system. It carries blood away from the heart, most importantly. So arteries carry oxygenated blood away from the heart to the tissues, except for the pulmonary arteries, which carry blood to the lungs from the heart. So the blood in the pulmonary arteries is deoxygenated. The arteries are blood vessels that deliver oxygen-rich blood from the heart to the tissues in the body. Each artery has muscular tube lining. It's quite smooth inside, so it reduces friction. And the inner layer is a smooth muscle is called the epithelium. So if we think about what the pressure is like within the arteries, how the pressure in the arteries is maintained. Well, the pressure inside of the arteries is very high, and this pressure is maintained right. So when the heart beats, it produces a lot of pressure. Arteries have a small lumen, so the lumen is just the diameter of the hole going through it. So to help maintain the pressure, arteries have a muscular that can contract to tighten that lumen. There's also elastic tissue that kind of stretches a bit like a balloon, so when the heart is not pumping, that can go and spring back and force blood along. So capillaries. So the blood capillaries is where the important functions of circulation takes place. So it's where you get an exchange of materials between the blood and the cells. So the capillaries are the smallest of the body's blood vessels. They're only 1 cell thick, and they are the sites of oxygen transfer and nutrient transfer out of the blood, and carbon dioxide and waste materials back into the blood. So capillaries are very thin, so there is a very short diffusion distance. So the layers of the wall of the capillary is only 1 cell thick, and they're so small that red blood vessels need to kind of pass through them in a single column, right? So that increases the surface area of the red blood cells that are in contact with that wall of the blood vessel, increasing the rate of diffusion. So the diagram shows cross section of a capillary. So look at describing these adaptations and think about how this aids with the exchange of materials. So the big things that you would need to talk about is that it's only 1 cell thick, so therefore there is a short diffusion distance, which will in turn increase the rate of diffusion. So veins are an important part of the circulatory system. They are responsible for returning deoxygenated blood back to the heart. So the vena cava is the largest vein in the body. So veins have a much thinner wall than arteries. The veins do have some elastic potential, so they can stretch, but not as much as arteries. So unlike the high pressure arterial system, in the veins the blood is passing at relatively low pressure. It's also worth noting, most importantly, the veins have valves which prevent backflow. So the veins and the valves only allow blood to flow in a single direction. So if we're comparing the structure of an artery with a vein, some of the key things that we need to talk about is that the arteries have a thicker layer of muscle. Arteries have a thick layer of elastic tissue. Arteries have a thicker wall, or the veins have a thinner wall. Arteries have a narrower lumen, or the veins have a wider lumen. Arteries do not have valves and veins do, and like we just said, only veins have valves. So the composition is made, or a comparison is made between blood taken from an artery and a vein. Give two differences. Right, the main difference is that the blood from the artery will have more oxygen and more glucose in it. However, it will have less carbon dioxide than in a vein. So the vein will have more carbon dioxide, less oxygen and less glucose. So if we are looking at the exchange of molecules, so the exchange of molecules happens in the capillary. So oxygen diffuses through the capillary walls into the fluid surrounding the cells. So carbon dioxide diffuses from the cells into the tissue fluid and then back across the wall of the capillary and into the blood. Glucose diffuses from the blood plasma across the capillary walls into the tissue fluid and then into the cells. And the waste product urea diffuses from the cells, primarily the cells of the liver, into the tissue fluid, then back across that single cell wall, back into the blood in the capillaries. So all these blood vessels are part of the circulatory system, and the function of the circulatory system is to go and carry blood around the body. So circulation is movement of blood through blood vessels from the body that include or induced by the pumping action of the heart and serves to distribute nutrients and oxygen and remove waste products from the body. So the circulatory system is a network consisting of blood vessels, the blood and the heart. The network supplies the body with oxygen and other nutrients, transports hormones and removes unnecessary waste products. So if we look at the question, so what is the job of the circulatory system and why do we need the circulatory system? And finally, what pumps the blood around the circulatory system? Well, the job of the circulatory system is to transport substances around the body. We need it because it would take too long for substances to diffuse from the outside all the way in without having some sort of circulatory system. And finally, it is the heart that is pumping the blood around the circulatory system.
Thanks for watching.